I am joined today by Filippo and Armando. I am a kid in a candy store, folks. These are two of the team of scientists that have released the information concerning the pyramid on the Giza plateau, Khafre Pyramid and Giza, and we'll get into that. But first, a word from our trusted sponsor. Have you ever wondered what happened to the legendary Chuck Norris? I recently saw a video he made, and I was shocked. He's in his 80s and still kicking butt and working out and staying active. What's even more shocking is he's stronger, can work out longer, and even has plenty of energy left over for his grandkids. He did this by just making one change. He says he still feels like he's in his 50s. His wife even started doing this one thing too, and she's never felt better. She says she feels 10 years younger. Her body looks leaner, and she has energy all day. Chuck made a special video that explains everything. Make sure you watch it by going to chuckdefense.com/LA or by clicking in the link below this video. It will change the way you think about your health. Once again, that's chuckdefense.com/LA and click on the link in the description below to watch the video now. You won't believe how simple it is. Just a reminder, the legendary Chuck Norris is a whopping 84 years old and yet has more energy than I do. He discovered he could create dramatic changes to his health simply focusing on three things that sabotage our body as we age. Watch his method by clicking the link in the description box below, chuckdefense.com/LA. Just a reminder, folks, the legendary Chuck Norris is a whopping 84 years old and yet has more energy than most of us. He discovered he could create dramatic changes to his health simply focusing on three things that sabotage our body as we age. Check it out. Watch the link, www.chuckdefense.com/LA. Filippo and Armando, first of all, thank you guys so much for coming on the record. I just can't to you.
Good evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Your research regarding the Giza Plateau and profound implications for humanity, and that if this research holds, it rewrites history as we know it. And you've released this information. It went viral. And again, I just thank you for coming on the record with us. So how does this change history as we know it?
I believe that this study we are doing along the last 2 years, I think is very, very important because it's opening a new way to understand what happened in the ancient past. But what is very, very important is the union, the conjunction between archaeological research and high technology, satellite high technology. Because I believe that we are opening a new path just to understand if the ancient myth told or tells a story or is really a myth. I believe that in the myth is written part of the ancient story of humanity, and we had the duty to understand what happened in the ancient past. My path of research started at the beginning of this century. And the first step, the most important, was when I was a speaker at the Zayed University during the conference on ancient studies that I shared with the most important researchers of that time, such as Graham Hancock, for example, or Robert Bauval, Andrew Collins, and so on. And at that conference, I presented my theory of the Zeptepi. That is an upgrade of the theory of correlation of Robert Bauval, because I believe that to understand the purpose of the Giza Plateau, so the pyramids, the Sphinx, we must study the Giza Plateau as a whole, not only the pyramids, not only the Sphinx, but to analyze all the monuments that belong to an ancient time, such as the temples beneath the Sphinx, for example, or the Tomb of the Birds in the west of the Giza Plateau. So to put together all these monuments and study it from an archaeoastronomical point of view, just to see if there is a precise moment where all those monuments are aligned with the stars. I do that, and I presented my theory. And because I achieved a very important results, because I noted that all those monuments aligned with the stuff from the east to west, aligned with the celestial vault from east to west, just only in 36,400 before Christ. This is the precise moment when the Giza plateau align with the stars. And what is important is the same date of the beginning of the Zeptepi inscribed in the ancient text, Egyptian ancient text, and particularly matches with the royal canon or papyrus of Turin, where there is a long list of sovereigns that ruled over the Egypt since the very, very ancient time, so 38,000 years ago. So once I joined these results, I had the duty, of course, to understand who built the pyramids and how the pyramids were built. So there are lots of many documents that were unearthed in Egypt, many papyrus, also stele and bas reliefs that are analyzed on the last century that tell a story very particular of the ancient Egypt. But any one of them refers to the construction of the Giza of the pyramids. It means that, of course, if the pyramids of Giza are not included in all those papyrus, something means. So I try to solve the quest studying the pyramids from a different point of view, applying the mathematical model of analysis to the pyramids, very easy mathematical models. And I discovered that the sides of each pyramid of Giza originated from the first 4 prime number of the table of the prime number. That is to say, number 3, number 5, and number 7 for the height of the pyramids, 7 for the Great Pyramid, 5 for the Menkaure Pyramid, and 3 for the Khafre Pyramid. And the base is always 11, a constant for all 3 pyramids. But what is very astonishing is that in the Khafre Pyramid, I discovered a code that is very important for the physics. That is to say, the number 137. That from this number originated the 3 main laws of physics: electromagnetism, relativity, and quantum physics. It means that this number was already managed from the civilization who built the Giza plateau, the pyramids, the Sphinx, and so on. That is why we applied the multidisciplinary model of investigation, because we believe that just only following this kind of path, we can achieve the results to understand what happened in the ancient past. And so I joined the Khafre research project CR Technology. I met Filippo and Corrado that were studying the pyramid of Khufu using the SAR technology. And then we put together in the effort to shed light on the secrets and mystery of the Khafre pyramid.
Wow. I mean, that's a lot to take in. And thank you for that answer. I appreciate that. Dr. Zawi Hawas's maintain that the pyramids were built by the Egyptians, and this is the current standard paradigm in archaeology. However, Hawass and others have never explained the very large megalithic blocks over the king's chamber that are granite and came from Aswan, 500 miles away. Does this bolster the possibility of other builders?
Sometimes I believe that what is important for an Egyptologist or an archaeologist is to enter in a quarry of granite to understand how the granite blocks are extracted from the quarries. Because I believe that who state this kind of hypothesis that the Egyptians built the pyramids, extracting the granite from the quarries, transported the blocks of 70 tons for 100 kilometers until Giza, and then to put the granite at 43 meters of height I believe that is a crazy hypothesis. Crazy hypothesis.
I agree.
It's not possible. It's not possible. So I think that also Zaki Awas must give us, maybe for a team or a pool of international Egyptologists, the duty to study, the right to study the graffiti of ice inside the chambers of the jet in the Great Pyramid, because we believe that is a forgery, and this is why it doesn't give the authorization to study this graffiti on the field. That is why I believe that we must shed light on the basic point, just move forward in question more and more important.
And and to your point about the cartouche above the king's chamber that says Khafre, I mean that the moment I heard that and read that, I said, well, anybody can go up there in the 19th century and write that. And I believe it's an absolute forgery. There's not a hieroglyphic. I mean, how did they get the so-called sarcophagus in the king's chamber? I mean, it just, nothing adds up. Absolutely nothing adds up, in my opinion. Your team used satellite imagery to discover what appears to be structures that are going down over, and you guys did it in meters. Over here, we're in feet. It's basically 2,116 feet below the surface. How can we be sure of that data? And when you presented this, I mean, my head was spinning, because this gets into the whole idea of the Giza pyramid being some sort of a power system. I mean, other people have talked about this. We don't know. But I mean, how reliable is this data?
So considering this, you ask me how much are variable correlated with reality. I am telling you this. We have done a plateau kit of measurements. Anyone who makes measurements, electrical and measurements, it's never, we never have things with probability 1. So 100%, nobody. It's not possible. So we worked like that. In 2022, me and Corrado Maragga, my co-worker, we started the project in order to visualize the internal chambers of the pyramid of Khnum-Khufu using satellite data. In that period, we was interested in looking inside matter. And there was already a project ongoing, financed by other international universities, that's the so-called Scan Pyramid project. And it is very good because they use muons in order to scan inside matter because neutrinos can penetrate matter as they want, because they are neutral particles, and they are good. So we hadn't the power to make something similar. So we tried to invent something that was comparable with the Scan Pyramid project. What we had to do is find the physics that was compliant in our objective. So scanning inside matter. Scanning inside matter, the other physical phenomena was sound, because sound is absolutely compatible with to scan inside the bodies, because the sound is capable to be propagated only inside the matter. Okay, so once we have found the physical parameter to use, we had to realize a scientific method in order to scan inside the pyramid. And we chose the synthetic aperture radar. Why? Because I study radar, I think now, today, 30 years that I'm studying and working on radar. I joined the community of synthetic aperture radar maybe 58 18 years ago.
Oh.
Because synthetic aperture radar is another is very specialized, a very specialized field inside the radar compound, because it's very specialized. Because the word synthetic, it's something that is related to azimuth resolution. I tell you, the resolution is a physical parameter that measures the minimum distance for which two targets can be visible separately. And in order to synthesize high resolution satellite images, synthetic aperture radar images, it is necessary to synthesize a long temporal aperture in terms of aperture. So the synthetic aperture radar of high resolution images. But what we noticed is that the synthetic aperture radar images are focused in the azimuth direction using sound. So that's again sound. The thing that we had to do was to make a procedure, so to realize a procedure in order to grab acoustical information from the Earth. So we realized a huge microphone using satellites in order to grab the sound information, and so on. In order to retrieve let's call them underground structure of the Earth, once we had synthesized the communication channel of the sound, we realized a tomographic procedure in order to have the slice of the underground. That's so the question is how can be, or in which percentage can be correlated effectively to the structure that we have claimed on the conference. In this position, we are very confident, because we have changed it. It's a lot of time that we are working on this project. We began the CAFRE project 1 year ago, so last year. In 1 year, we have produced at least 200 tomographies. We have in my house here, I have 2 computers that are 24 hours in action, so they are always grabbing new tomographs. We have used 2 different satellite systems. In this context, I please ask you to thank the American companies, that is Capella Space and Umbra Space, that gently gave us the possibility to analyze their data inside the open access program that they have prepared for this project. And so using different satellites, different images and different tomographic lines, we obtained the same results. So we are high confident that the things we have announced, we have claimed in our press conference, are highly correlated. I can't say, but nobody can say that we have the 100%, because it is impossible. But we are highly confident that we are claiming the right things.
Let me just ask you something. In other words, from what you just stated, you repeated this numerous times, and you kept getting the same images through 2 different satellite groups.
Yes.
So
2 different satellites, two different companies that built the satellites,
Right.
say two different electronics that have on board the satellites because they are completely different.
Right.
Capella Space and Umbra Space.
But you're getting the same results.
Yes. Yes.
Above all, detecting the area from different points of view, from east, from west, from south, from north. The changing the position of the point of observation, the results is always the same.
And I tell you, before giving these things, the shafts, no, for example, these huge shafts that goes below the earth, we passed a lot of time. Corrado, what are these? And Corrado told me also, Filippo, what are these things here?
Right.
Corrado, it may be noise, I don't know. Let's see. There were always present, so I'm sorry, but and then we saw spirals like that.
Spirals going down.
Spirals going down. They are man-made, absolutely, or they are artificial. They are artificial, and they are present. We spend also a lot of time to calculate the length of these things, and the length is the deepness is very high, more between 1.2 and 1.4 kilometers below the Earth.
It's just it's astounding, absolutely astounding. Let me ask you something. So, Zawi Hawass and others of his ilk, this is not written per se, but have you had any luck as permits to go down and dig and see if there's something there?
I just thank you for this question. The thing that I have to say is this. We thank we respect absolutely all the Egyptologist community because they are wonderful. We respect 100% Zaki Hawass because he is my mate, personal mate.
Wow. Okay.
He's very competent, and he is, how you say, cittadino onorario, something armato, come si dice, onorificenza.
He obtained a
Citizen of honor.
of a little country near the
Yes, in Pastignano sul Trasimeno, 3 kilometers where I live, where we are doing this video now. So we fully respect him because he is competent. We cannot say nothing about him, but we are firmly in our results. So we are 100% sure. No, we are 100% sure to announce our results with a certain correlation. Very high.
Wow. Let me ask you something, because I know a lot of the viewers, there's all sorts of, if the data holds true, and from what you're saying, I believe the data will hold true. And I didn't realize that there were two different satellite companies, and taking images from all around and coming up with the same results. I mean, that's just amazing. Who do you think built these? Any idea? I mean, if it's not the Egyptians, who are we looking at?
The basic point is that, as I said before, we have to better understand what is written in the ancient myth. Because, for example, in the Book of Death, Egyptian Book of Death,
Egyptian Book of the Dead,
there are some chapters that seems to tell an ancient story of a fight between two brothers, Seth and Osiris. But the description of the fight and the location that are described in the book seems to refer to something that really happened in the ancient past. It's possible. Now, there are lots of other documents that seems to refer to an ancient civilization, an unknown civilization. We don't know who they are. We don't know. But there are the connection with this ancient unknown civilization. Now, we have no proof of the existence because we are looking for the proof of the existence of that civilization. But in my opinion, for example, I believe that this ancient civilization was a global civilization that lived on the planet because there are archaeological sites everywhere in the world that are similar among them. Pyramid in South America, pyramid in China, megalithic site everywhere. So it means that something happened and a global civilization lived on Earth. Now, what happened at that civilization? We don't know. Maybe the Great Flood.
The Great Flood, and that's. Let me stop right there. That is the paradigm that I hold to. I think there was a grid system over the planet. The flood wiped it all out. We see vestiges of it everywhere. Please continue.
Yeah. Yes. Also, because just to discuss of the Great Flood, that seems to be happened because an outer space object strike the Earth. Many researchers, scientists believe that the impact was on the Earth, and they are looking for the place of the impact. But we must also remember that Earth is composed by the 7% of water. So it's possible that we can't find the clues of the impact because it's possible that happened in the water. So we have to understand what happened in the past means to have an open mind, to analyze all the possibilities. Otherwise, we stay always at the same point at the solution of problems. We can achieve any result. That is why I was saying, because in my opinion, there was an ancient civilization, we must find the clues. The clues, in my opinion, is, for example, one for all, the Giza Plateau. Because the pyramids, for example, has many features that don't belong to the Egyptian civilization lived during the Fourth Dynasty, during the Old Kingdom, because that civilization didn't have any tools, for example, or any architectural skills to build such kind of monuments. So, in my opinion, the pyramids are the witness of the ancient civilization all living on Earth. If the scientist doesn't want to see that, it's not my responsibility because we move forward in our path with the target to solve the secrets of the ancient past.
Wow. Let me ask you guys this. There have been many people, you mentioned Dr. Robert Duvall in passing. There are people that have said that the Great Pyramid was some sort of the Giza power plant, for instance. And looking at the structures, I believe, and you mentioned megalithic structures all over the earth, and I've been to many of them. And when you go there, the guides will say that the Inca were great builders and all this other stuff. Not buying it for a second. I've been to Sacsayhuaman. I've been to Ollantaytambo. I've been to all the megalithic sites, many of them throughout Europe and even in the United States. It seems like these pyramids in Giza may have been some sort of a power plant to light up the grid, some sort of an energy system. What are your thoughts on that?
As you know, in times ago, Christopher Dunn wrote a book very, very interesting, The Giza Power Plant.
Yes.
And but also many other authors believe that the Giza Plateau is a power plant. Now, as I was saying before, when I discovered the code 137, this strictly connects with the main laws of physics. it was the key point to start to understand what was the pyramid purpose, because the number 137 is not casual, is clearly in the dimensions, in the sides of the monuments, and is not and is the base to understand what was their purpose. Now, when we analyze the shafts that goes in the underground from the Kafir
The paths, yes.
yes, we propose two kind of hypotheses. The first that Professor Corrado Malanga suggests that is the team leader of the Kafir project, suggests during the conference in March 16. We believe that the shafts may be have the function to support the weight of the pyramids. The pyramid cover is based on a kind of slabs that is made of limestone, and without these slabs that surround the pyramid, without these slabs, we made the calculation. Without these slabs, maybe the pyramid would collapse of almost 10 meters. With the support of these slabs and the shafts in the underground, the pyramid is always in its position and has no problem of collapsing. I'm sorry for my English, but I'm trying to explain technically what.
No, it's very, and I thank you for coming on the record.
The second point is to analyze all the feature of the shafts that goes in the underground, but some of them are empty inside. So it is possible that they were used to support the vibration, the energy coming from the earth towards the pyramids, of course, for a particular function that we must understand. And we can understand that studying all the details of the pyramids and of the underground to have a precise and above all scientific model that can explain the purpose of the pyramid. So we are studying that, but we can suggest a possible solution of the problem once we have a precise scientific result. But it's possible the vibration is connected with the pyramid.
Wow. This is it's amazing. It's such a breakthrough. I'd like to get your closing thoughts. Armando, I'll start with you, and Filippo, I'll give you the last word. Armando, your closing thoughts, please.
Oh, I just want to say to all people, to humankind, because in our Facebook page, there is our logo suggesting this research is for humankind. So we need the support of humankind who won't really know what are our origins. We need your support to move forward in our challenge, because it's a very great challenge that we are doing, and we need your support to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Armando, that I agree with him. I repeat that we need the support of anyone on this planet, because this research is mandatory to know who we are, because we as humanity, we don't know who we are. We don't know. We're born here. We live on this planet that is very nice, but we know very little about us. So in my personal opinion, this research will contribute a lot to know who we are. And then other news about our research will be developed on December in a conference that we'll do will be held in Bologna, probably in the in a sport center called the Palazzetto dello Sport. And so we will see what happens. Thank you.
Well, I will announce new discoveries.
Maybe yes. Yeah, I think yes.
And please email me when that happens so I can alert all our viewers so they can follow. I'm just gonna throw a curveball at you guys. It wasn't part of our written questions. It's not a gotcha question, but I'm looking at this and I call it fallen angel technology, Nephilim architecture. That's what I call it, and I'm stuck with that. I mean, I'm in intellectual concrete here. I'm not going to budge, but that's what I think we're looking at, and it fits the biblical paradigm. And we're not talking, church or anything. We're talking what was written. But guys, thank you for coming on the record. It's really an honor.
Thank you. Thank you. Great pleasure to stay with you. Great pleasure. Thank you.
And please keep us informed. You got my email. We'd love to have you back on. Anything that happens, let us know.
We are at humankind centered. So everything is for humankind. Just to underline that in Bologna, the conference will be in English and Italian. So it's open to.
And when will that happen, Armando? What's the date of this?
December. Maybe between 8th and 15th of December.
Okay, so it's almost a year out. Okay.
Yes.
Guys, thank you so much for coming on the record. Really appreciate it. There is a hidden history that's been deliberately obfuscated from the peoples of the world, and that's why we are on the trail of the Nephilim. Thanks for watching.